Okay, there's a Wi-Fi range booster that's expensive and for rich people with big houses. There's 4K Chromecast, like I said. A new comfier headset for VR that works with Google Daydream, and it looks like a woman's purse. It comes with a remote that tucks inside the headset, and the guy talking about it dropped it during the keynote. That was awesome. And Google Home, an Amazon Echo competitor that's $130 with different bottoms you can stylize it with that takes control of Chromecast and hooks up to your phone, which your phone does everything Google Home already does. And second of all, let me just apologize for pronouncing Andromeda wrong before. I had never heard of the word Andromeda because I'm not a nerd. I mean, just, yeah, That's a joke. I'm obviously a huge nerd. I was just never an astronomy guy, so I'd never seen the word before. I'm apologizing for not knowing how to say it. I was trying to think of a counter argument, like maybe in the UK they say Andromeda, like aluminum and aluminium. Americans say Andromeda, the UK says Andromeda. But no, I was just flat out wrong. Google didn't pronounce it wrong or right. It wasn't mentioned. There was nothing. The Andromeda thing was a complete dead end. So unfortunately, no surprises there. The rest of the keynote was to talk about the new Google Pixel phone, which again, there were no surprises there either. And there were 5 things they used to advertise the new Pixel. First thing being the Google Assistant, a digital robot that you can talk or type to that knows everything and is really good at making reservations at things like Siri has been and Google already has been. So it's basically like OK Google, except now the logo looks like a bunch of dots instead of a G. And the Assistant is only on the Pixel currently. The second thing they bragged about is that the camera is great. How great is it? It's great. That's the verification I need to provide to you, because that's all they gave us. But would it change your mind to hear that a camera rating company you've never heard of rated it the highest smartphone camera that's ever existed? And that company has not reviewed the iPhone 7 Plus yet? Well, now we're talking, now that we've got that one guy's opinion. Given the Pixel got an 89 and the iPhone 7, the regular one, got an 87. Ooh, that's a game changer. They showed a couple photos and like, it's fine. I didn't think it was way better than every other phone on the market. I think the difference in quality between all these flagship phones is very thin now. They're the closest they've ever been, that's for sure. So this phone has 12 megapixels, just like most phones have now, including the Nexus 6P. It has a 2.0 aperture, which is not the lowest on the market either. They talked about having HDR settings, like most phones do now. And they said it takes multiple photos and filters through them to find the best possible result, like iPhones have been doing for a couple of years now. Image quality is basically the same on most flagship phones now. It's like very minuscule differences. But what I have a bigger interest in is variety in lenses, since all smartphone cameras are basic wide angles. Not super wide, just regular wide. And I'm constantly trying to get closer to my subject. Essentially, if a smartphone does not have a dual camera with a telephoto lens, it cannot replace my next phone, because I'm going to be using that all the time and I've wanted it for a very long time. So the camera overall, given the other options out there, this is fine. It's average. And the fact that the Pixel phones are the identical prices of the new iPhone 7s, it's kind of hard for me to say it's got a great camera given it has competition that can do it better. The other bragging point was VR, meaning this is the first smartphone to be Google Daydream ready, which is a way to use your phone in this new headset that costs $80, and you have a remote and you can look kind of weird through public if you feel like it for $80 and strap a purse to your face. And they also said with Google Photos on the Pixel, they're going to back up all of your photos and videos at full resolution, 4K and 12 megapixel, which essentially means if you live where I do, you shouldn't film ever, because that would take eternity to upload to the cloud, given a lot of our internets can't support constant 4K uploading. That's also not very good on your battery life, opposed to just, you know, recording something and storing it on the phone and then deciding later whether or not you want to back it up to the cloud. Speaking of battery life, we don't know a whole lot about this, because all they said is it takes 15 minutes to charge it to 7 hours of usage. That's cool. I'm glad it has very, very fast charging, but to me in the real world, I would rather know how long it can last throughout the day. If you're just gonna tell me, well, if it does run out, I can plug it in and charge it really quickly. I would rather just have a battery that I don't have to charge in the middle of the day. Just make it last that length and tell me what that length is, rather than just saying 15 minutes equals 7 hours. Give me more information than that, please. Again, backing up stuff is not easy on the phone's battery or your internet. The fifth and final thing they bragged about was communication on a phone. Whoa. Because this phone ships with Google Duo and Google Allo, which just, oh God, I don't get you, Google. You made Google Hangouts and Google Plus, and then now you're making even more messaging apps rather than just updating the ones you've already made. When you're adding software features to your new phone, that doesn't mean the same thing as when Apple does it, because you open source your software, which means all of these apps and software things you're talking about are going to be available for everyone else as soon as these new Android manufacturer phones release new devices. It means no one really needs your phone. They can get it elsewhere, probably for cheaper. Meaning the Google Assistant, the Pixel Launcher, Allo, Duo, Google Photos, and even Google Daydream are going to be available on most Android phones within the next 6 to 8 months. A lot of those being cheaper than iPhones. And if you expect people to pay for your phone in particular, you need hardware advantages. Optical video stabilization. This is like a standard now for flagships. If you're gonna have glass on the back of the device, include wireless charging, something Samsung's really good at. If you're gonna have a high resolution camera, don't quit there, match the iPhone and have a dual camera. You've got tons of space on that chin on the front, have front-facing speakers, or at least stereo speakers. Or here's a crazy idea, if you're gonna brag that you still have a headphone jack, include headphones with the purchase. iPhone 7 doesn't have a headphone jack, but at least they give you headphones when you buy it. Samsung and Apple now are making highly water-resistant devices. Make yours too. And if you're not gonna include a 256 gigabyte option, allow expandable storage like the Galaxy phones. Or here's a crazy idea. If your Google Assistant is going to bring up a YouTube video every time I ask for a song to play, you're going to rev up my data plan, which is exclusively available at Verizon with the Pixel, the most expensive carrier there is with no unlimited data option. So you better be careful that that phone's not backing up all your 4K videos and high resolution photos over your data plan, because that's gonna run all that data dry, which means Pixel does not work with AT&T, Sprint, T-Mobile, Republic Wireless, whoever you want, Verizon only. So you are paying top dollar for this thing. So as an Apple sheep, I'm laughing at them, and even if I wasn't biased, I'm disappointed with them. Just about all the Android phone developers out there are making better phones, or at least better deals. Now, does that answer your question? I'm not that excited about the Pixel. I don't think a lot of people are going to be excited and lining up to buy it. I just personally think it looks kind of ugly. It doesn't look appealing to me, and it looks like they didn't think through it. It looks like they had an iPhone template and decided to rearrange some things to make it Android. That's enough of the Apple sheep ranting. What did you think of the Pixel? Do you disagree with me? Is it the best phone out there? You are absolutely wrong. No, it is not. You just need to convince me it's not as bad as it is. Let me know in the comments below. This is your Apple Sheep here, and I will see you in the next one.